Mr. Arrange. Mr. Arrange, how are you?
Yeah,
Alan,
yeah.
when will you be able to shave?
Where what?
When will you be able to shave?
Oh, about a week and a half, I think. I don't know. I don't
Wow, because it's growing, really.
know. I know. I know. They may let me in the Colel now. They might think that I'm a Colel guy there, huh?
Yeah.
Well, what can you do? That's part of life.
How, when I went to see you, I didn't understand, but your brother lived for a long time in Israel.
55 years.
Oh,
But I
wow.
was very close with him though. He called me every day. Every day he
Really?
called me. I talked to him every day, almost, Shabbos, of course, Yontif, but almost every day. He was very
Wow.
close, but we didn't talk long. He was very, he was concerned about asking about he knew all my family, and he called all the nephews and nieces, but he learned a lot. He didn't want to waste any time. He learned so much. My brother was such a Talmid Chacham. He had a good job. He retired from Supersol. He was the head of the Roy Cheshbon of the chief accountant of Supersol. They wanted to make a controller, but he says, I want to just do my job and I want to go home and learn and take care of my family, which he did. He lived in Bnei Brak all the time, 55 years.
Wow, wow, wow.
But when he moved there, it was a normal city. Now it became very Haredi, but everybody loved him. He was very well liked, and he used to do a lot of chesed. My brother used to do chesed for everybody. He'd go collect money for people on Niyam. He would take care of a lot of families. He would see that they had
So
enough.
he went to Israel just after the 6-Day War.
No, before in 65.
Oh yeah, 65. Yeah.
Yeah. And he joined the Maluim. He went Maluim every year. He would go in till he was 50 years old. He would go for 1 month a year on a reserve. He would go in for 1 month a year on reserve.
Yeah.
In the army with all the children too. He had 7 kids, and he was at and he would want to do during the war, but 67 war, my parents were so concerned they wanted to bring him back to America with his family. He says, I should go back and have my neighbors take care of my house and do everything. And I'll come back. No, he said, I live here. This is my home. I got to protect it. And he did whatever he could. So he was amazing. He was an amazing person. He was really such an amazing person. Everybody loved him. He didn't
How
have
old was he? How old was he?
84, young 84. A young 84. His mind was so young.
Older than you.
1 year older. I'm 83.
Yeah, no. But I thought for some reason I thought he was a younger brother. No,
Well,
it's okay.
I lost my younger brother, died a year ago.
Yes.
Seattle. So we were very close family. My sister lives in Israel now. She moved about 3 or 4 years ago. This is Beit Shemesh. But it's a circle of life. And I had 3 new great grandchildren born in the last 2 weeks. So 2 boys and a girl.
Baruch Hashem.
Baruch Hashem. Yeah.
Hi, Ernie, where are you? In the other side of town?
No, I'm in the kitchen.
The color scheme changed. That's
Right.
why.
Okay. So what about tomorrow, Ernie?
Tomorrow, 8 p.m.
Now, and then you'll have to do the recording.
Ernie, 7:30, I think, is Minyan by Yavin. So maybe 8:15?
No, not in the morning, in the evening.
Oh, can we learn? We can't learn in the morning?
I can't learn in the morning.
So Ernie, I would have to ask you to do the recording.
Oh, is 9 o'clock better? 9 p.m.?
No, I'm joining the family in the valley, so I can't run it.
But we eat early. We eat like at 4 o'clock.
Yeah, we probably will, but then it becomes a rush. I don't want to eat and just leave. So I could take my iPad to my daughter's house and turn it on.
You want to do it at 9 o'clock? 9 p.m.?
No, do it at 8. But what I'll do, if I'm still in the valley, I'll turn it on.
Okay,
If I'm home, it's okay. I
okay.
hope I won't be in. If I see I'm going to be on the road at 8, I'll call you.
Yeah, just text me.
I'll text you. Yes.
Okay. So we're on Yud Beis. Hada Amit Misan L'Shos. V'hu shelo tam klum harav. Whatever you do, even if you're going to fast a whole day, a half a day, you have to finish the fast until nightfall. Amalei Abai high tinus ma'ayusihi. Well, of course, that's a good tinus. That seems to be the whole day. Lo tzricha de'im lechim luchi. But we're talking about a case that in the morning, he didn't have the intent to fast. But because of various reasons, he didn't eat anything. And then he decided, okay, I'm going to make it a fast. So then he has to fulfill the fast until the end of the day. Amar Rav Chisda, kol tainish lo yishakal of chama lo shmei tainis. If a shkias achama, you're not fasting when shkias achama, when sunset comes around, it's not called a fast. The Yisraelim who would gather when the Kohanim would, there were Kohanim, Leviim, Yisraelim, the Anshe Mishmar, they would misanim v'lo mashlimim. They would not complete a fast. Yet it's called a tainus. Hasam l'tzuri nafshe ba'almahu. But that's not for a fast. That's to be mitzar themselves. It's not considered a tainus. They accepted on themselves a certain sar that they're mishtatev in the Anshe Mishmar who are fasting. Because they cannot eat. But somebody wants to participate with them, they can. Toshma. I'm an ancestor of one of these Kohanic families. Tishba fell on Shabbos. They pushed it to Sunday. We fasted, we didn't finish it because it was a family yontif, that 10th day of Av. So how can they be not mashlim? You said it has to be mashlim. So there also was not that they have to fast. It was not considered a tainus. It was just to be mitzar themselves. Toshmad Amrav Yechanan, I'm going to fast until I get home, which also he get home in the afternoon. He was trying to separate himself from the house of the Nasi. So that's why he said, I don't want to eat there. And he didn't want to embarrass anyone, the people who invited him. So he made it as if it was a tainus, but it was really not a tainus. Omer Shmuel. Kol tainus lo kibul lavim bod yom lav shmei tainus. You have to accept a tainus from the day before. V'yosiv mai. If he did not accept it the day before and he just started fasting, Amrav Shirshad, Dami l'mapucha d'ma yazika. It's not worth anything. It's like a bag full of wind. It's not nechsha for anything. Amos mekabele. So when do you have to be mekabel the tainus? Rav Amar b'mincha. The day before, time of mincha, you have to accept it. Shmuel Amar b'tfilas mincha. You have to accept it in tfilas mincha. Amar Rav Yosef Kavosi de Shmuel mistavra. The sheet of Shmuel makes sense. Tichsiv b'Megillas Tainis, lahen kol inish diyesi aloi mikadmas dona yesar. It says in Megillas Tainis, after they chose all those days that would be Yomim Tovim, that you can't fast on those days. Any obligation that he had on himself prior to the Megillas Taanis, so that he can keep. Now, my love yesratzma b'tzilo. Now, when are you aser yourself? You do it in davening. The Gemara says lo yeyaser atzmo. He doesn't have to do it in davening. Even not in davening, he can aser himself.
Are we talking about 12-hour fast or 24-hour fast?
12-hour fast.
So he can't even, so let's say
Has to
something
be
happened.
accepted- Has to be accepted from the day before.
Let's say something happened in the middle of the night or something that forced himself in, let's say, a tightest column or something like that.
Well, Taanis
Let's see.
Cholam is a reason to fast.
There is a reason, but it doesn't do that before. Can he do it then the following day, or he has to do it that morning? No, but he
We're gonna
didn't.
see- We're going to see about Taanis Cholam tonight. We're
Okay.
going to learn about how that triggers. Pligi b'Rav Chiya Rav Shimon b'Rabbi Chadam a Yeser. One of them says that the word is Yeser, and the other one says is Yeyoser. Now, Kidamina. Lamanda me Yeser Mahi, the time of Megillas Taanis. Kol inish the Yesi Eloi mikadmos dona Yeyoser. If he had some kind of Isra beforehand, let's say a person had already accepted to fast Monday, Thursday, Monday for the whole year. And all of a sudden, in Megillas Taanis, they have certain days that those Mondays and Thursdays are a yontif. So in Nidro Kodem L'Gzeirasenu, if his family neder to fast Monday, Thursday, Monday was before Megillas Taanis, Yibatal Nidro is Gzeirasenu. So the neder takes precedence. Then he cannot fast on those days because Megillas Taanis takes precedence. When can he eat and drink? Until Aloisa Shachar Divrei Rabbi. He has a Rabbi Shimon Omer ad Kroisa Gever, even before when the rooster crows, which is before Alois. That's only if he had not finished his dinner from the night before. If he finished his dinner the night before, he cannot wake up in the middle of the morning before Alois and eat. So if he decided that he wants to eat, he can eat. So Hasam Kishlosile, because they didn't remove the dinner table. Depends on sleep. He can eat if he didn't fall asleep. If he slept, he can't wake up and eat. If he's sleeping and woke up, he can eat. The Gemara says it's not really name. It's just taking like a nap, not a real sleep. Shulchan Aruch says, "Taanis shein mafsikin bo mibod yom, bein taanis yachad, bein taanis tzibur, muter lechol v'lishtos ad shi'ala man hashachar." We are like Rabbi that you can eat up until Allah says shachar, as long as you didn't go to sleep. But if you took a nap, muter. However, if you made it tnai, like what we do before you go to sleep, muter. And that drinking you don't have to make it tonight. Aruch HaShulchan says today, even by drinking, you don't have to make it tonight, but Machmir should make it tonight. Aravashi, what does it mean nap? Nim v'loy nim, tir v'loy tir. It means he's not asleep, he's not awake. The Kori Levon, if you say, Elazar, yeah, what do you want? But v'lo yada adu isma, he asks you something very complicated, he won't be able to answer. But if you remind him what you asked, he'll remember. So it's like a twilight nap. Rav Kanam Rav Yachel Shakib Love Taanis. a yachid that accepted the tainis, also benilas a sandal. He may not wear shoes. Because maybe he accepted all the stringencies of a tainis sibur. You should say, tomorrow I'm going to observe a tainis yachid.
We don't say, but we don't hold that though by shoes. So do we? Leather shoes by a tiny shochet? Just it doesn't apply only Yom Kippur and Tisha B'av, right? You know, use a sandal
or certain fasts for rain. We see these chachamim who put on their shoes and they go to the Beis Knesset. So Ikpid, he was upset. What do you mean? Maybe they're eating too. Maybe they're not fasting, and that's why they're wearing shoes. Abai and Rava would wear their sandals backwards, upside down. They would wear the right shoe on the left foot. They would go on regular shoes. So therefore, there's no worry that he accepted the tiny sibur on himself. Means a person, if all of a sudden he was supposed to fast and he couldn't fast, he can eat, but he has to pay it back on another day. How? I mean, of course, can you be makabel and neder and not fulfill it? Let's say nafshi kabel. He did it to make himself suffer a little bit, so maybe that's enough. He doesn't have to pay back. If he can make himself pain, fine. And if he can't, he can't. It's enough that he fasted for 3 hours or 4 hours, even if he can't be mashlim it. However, a person can pay back a fast day. It's like any neder. Neder milo motzi boy l'shlumi mezel l'machli yom achrina. Neder you have to pay back. You got to fulfill your neder. Halacha is somebody who accepted a tainus, and then a certain day he fasted and he couldn't. He had to eat for some reason in a sudas mitzvah. Then he can break his fast, but he has to do it on another day. Rav Yeshua ben Ravidi Ikla ben Ravasi Avdulay Egel Tilsa. They made a fatted calf. Amar le lito marmidi. Taste from it. Amar le betanisi yosef. I'm in a tainus. Amar le veluziv marvelifer. Yeah, but break the fast and pay back another day. Lo savar mar lahadam ravidam arav loy vadam taniso pere. Don't you hold of that shita? Amar lu tainus chalomu. And therefore you don't break a tainus chalom. Amar Rabbi Bar Machasim Rav Chama Bar Gurim Rav Yofa Tainus Lachalom Ke'esh L'Noires. A Tainus Chalom burns up a bad dream like fire burns up flax. So the day after you dreamed is when you fast. It's not a choiva or a mitzvah only if he wants to do it, says the Rashba. You got to do it right the next day. It means if you dreamed Friday night, you can fast on Shabbos. But now, if you decide that you can't fast on that Shabbos, you have to make another fast. Or just the opposite. Since you're not allowed to fast on Shabbos, and you fasted, you have to do another fast to be mechaper for the fast that you fasted on Shabbos. That's the din.
So you shouldn't fast on Shabbos instead of Tainus Chalom.
If you do, you got to make another fast.
But you don't, so you can push it off though, even though you have to do it the next
You
day.
have to fast that Sunday.
Yeah.
You can't fast 2 days in a row. Then you have to do it Monday. Otherwise, Mikra Din, you should fast 2 days in a row.
Oh.
Now, we
And
said
that's only a 12-hour fast, so you can eat at night. It's not 12.
correct.
Okay.
We said that that there were 3 fasts: the 7th of Cheshvan, the 23rd of Cheshvan, and Rosh Chodesh Kislev. Now, if it didn't rain, those taniyos that we talked about before was on Yechidim. Now Bezdin is goyzer a tainis, which is more chomer on the tzibur. How is it more chomer? Oichlin v'shoysim b'bod yom. It's like a 24-hour fast. You can only eat like we do Yom Kippur and Tisha B'Av. You have to eat. You have to stop eating already once night falls. And you can't wash or anoint, put on shoes, or have relations. They close the bathhouses. So now, if rain doesn't fall, so you have 3 plus 3, and now 7. Change 13 taniyos. Hare elu yiseres ala rishonos. Shebe elu masriin v'noyan sachaniyos. On these, they blow trua and they close the shops. Basheni, on the second time that they have a fast, matin, they open up the stores at night in order to buy food for night. Uvechamishi mutorim mipnei koved Shabbos. And on the 5th fast, they can open Shabbos. They can open to buy food for Shabbos. Everybody closes their business. Bebinyan, you don't build. Uvenitin, you don't plant. Beirusin, you don't get kiddushin. Uvenisun, you don't get married. Uveshela shalom beinon machaver, you don't ask shalom aleichem. Kivnei adam anuzufi lomakom, like people in Cherem. Hayichidim choyzim misanim ad sheyetze Nisan. The individuals of Pinei Chachamim fast every Monday, Thursday, and Monday until Chodesh Nisan. After that, you don't daven for rain. Yotze Nisan v'yardu gshamim siman klalo. Shenemar alok tzirchi timayu. So Bishlam Akulu, I understand all the things that are usher is food timing, because there's pleasure. Chitza, sicha, tashmi shamita. Why should you malacha? Why should there be yisr malacha? Tzaru. We should send people to work. It's more tsar. Amar Chizar Rav Yirmeh bar Abaya, Bar Abba, Amar Krok Kitshut Som, Kiru Atzara Isfu Zakeni. So Katzeres, the word Atzara is from the word Atzeres. Ma Atzeres, Asur Basiyas Malachat, refers to prohibition of work. Avtainis Asur Basiyas Malachat. Ima Atzeres Me'urta Avtainis Nami Me'urta. Maybe stopping from work should be already from the night before. The pasuk talks about gathering of zakanim. Maasiv zakanim bayom. Beis Din only operates in the daytime. Haptzom nami bayom. Ve'ema metiyara, maybe it's from noontime. Amr Rav Sheshet Brad Reed in Saila Ravuna Amr Mitzafra Kinufa. It's from the morning. Hechi Avid Amr by Mitzafra Paga Diyoma Ma'ainin B'mili Demasa. From the morning until noontime, the Beis Din deals with the business of the city. Is there ethical or other things going on in the city to try to correct it? Maybe that's what led to no rain. The remaining half a day, a quarter of the day, they read in Sifra and Haftoiris. Excuse me, Sefer Torah and the Maftir. Then they daven. Shenamar vayakumu alamdam vayikru b'Sefer Torah Hashem Elokeichem revius hayom urevius b'svarim mushtachim Hashem Elokeichem. Okay.
Sure.
Okay, so